Hello, all that is watching this. Different setup this time, standing up, and I'm indoors instead of outdoors. So we will see how this goes. But today I wanted to hop on and make a video. I've made a video in the past regarding dating apps, but this one kind of popped in my head, and I kind of think of this as a little maybe cynical, but it's also kind of true in my humble opinion because dating apps in 2024 are garbage, not in your best interest, and at this point, a huge waste of time. So many more negatives than positives that I can list out that even if there's an exception of, you always hear people being like, well, I met my love of my life on dating apps and so forth, but I don't think that's really going to happen nowadays, given how I guess the dynamics between like men and women and how dating is in general and how it really takes a lot to kind of stick out nowadays. So, um, let's see. Before I dive into this, if you made it to this point, 1 minute of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, that whole thing. I'm going to be trying to upload a little bit more on here and kind of treat this channel as like a diary of me, or diary of my thoughts is what I was trying to say there. So back to the topic, after my shameless plug. Um, so Match Group owns a bunch of dating apps that I can, like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. Those are the three big ones. And I kind of dabbled a little bit as well into other apps such as like Facebook dating, this app called Casual, which is just kind of like for, casual dates and so forth. Who would have thought, right? It's in the name itself. But Match Group, at the end of the day, is a business. And, I feel like businesses, when it comes to like love and romance, don't really give a shit if you meet someone. Because think about it. If you match with someone and you find your partner, you delete the app, they don't get any engagement or money from you, and you're kind of just off the grid for them. So I can't speak on a woman's experience using a dating app, but from the friends that are in my life, that when I've looked at their profiles is so completely different than from a guy's, it will blow your mind. Because most guys want to hook up, and girls, even though they may have access to like, casual sex or maybe just in general, it's harder to get commitment out of a guy nowadays. And it's definitely a bummer because I think when I was a teenager and even young in college, I kind of contributed to this because I thought that was the meta, or that's how dating just was. But as I get older, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? It was completely meaningless. I mean, I got experience, but what for? Like, I rather have met someone that truly loved me for who I am, and we would kindle something pretty beautiful. And then, whenever we would get intimate, it would be different than if I, hooked up or slept with, I don't know, like 10 other people, right? Just to arbitrarily put it out. So on these apps, which is crazy that like, I've gone to like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge for the reviews on the App Store for them. And there are so many 1-star reviews of people just saying it's a scam. I can't get any likes. I paid the subscription. And even then, it's not even like being beneficial. And I think these apps, especially like Tinder, they have a pay to win incentive. It used to be like you would get 100 free likes, and you would get like some matches here and there, and it was pretty good for the most part. And then that was like in 2013, 14. Now we're like 10 years later, and it's a complete shit show. And some people have reported it's like their likes are limited. And I could totally believe that because with, Match.com being a corporation at the end of the day, they want to have their net profit increase every year. So they're going to try to steer men, especially because women don't really need to pay a subscription at all. Like you can get a free account and you'll have like 30 dudes wanting to like sleep with you. Even if you're an average girl, even below, I mean, like men are, I've talked to some guys or seen some behavior on the internet from dudes, and yeah, it could be dogs for sure. I'm gonna have a little sip of this because it's like, yeah, I could totally see the horn dog angle. So the divisions between men and women or just dating, maybe people are bitter on both sides, but I think that's why on dating apps it's completely pointless because it's easier to just, oh, let me take 2 steps back on that. I wouldn't say it's easier to meet someone in person, but damn, is it more fulfilling, or it could lead to something that's pretty awesome that could, change your life in a meaningful way instead of just on a phone swiping away your life. Honestly, swiping on dating apps is the same as like scrolling through shorts and just kind of watching your life fly by in terms of like, well, I spent like an hour or two, swiping and then got no matches. So then on top of that, it's just going to ruin your self-esteem as well. So like, I'm assuming most men are going to be watching this video, but men and women, like, let's get off these things. Let's change the dynamic to where, I don't know, at least we'll meet in person or not be as socially awkward, coming from a guy that, has issues and struggles with talking with people in person. But I think it's getting better as I get older because when you get more experience will lead to more confidence. And then when you have those experiences, you can look back on them and refer to, and then thus you're kind of like a new person. Like you'll have those experiences to refer onto and you'll just be more confident overall. And it's better than these dating apps for sure because Bumble fundamentally was an app that was created to put the power into women to reach out. They've been losing so much money and like people are just leaving these apps in droves, especially my generation, like we're getting fed up with it. That's a cool trend to see is like people kind of leaving these dating apps because at the end of the day, like, come on, why are we on these? They're such a waste of time, especially for me, because I'm just talking from personal experience, but like, I've just gotten more negative than good out of it. I mean, there was a girl I was talking to a couple weeks ago from Tinder, and it actually led to some dates, but I don't know, there was just some issues there. She didn't want to like do anything that was going to turn into something serious, and I was just kind of like, I'm going to go with the flow and see how things go, because my expectations are like, the bar is so low in terms of people giving me the time of day to kind of get to know me. I'm just like, hey, let's have a conversation and see where things go. But women on average probably are a little more pickier than men. I know for me, I have my preferences, but I don't think I have like an ick list or whatever. I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt and talk to them and probably try to figure out where they're coming from. But when you're on dating apps, just totally removes that element. You're just a couple texts or words on a screen, and a girl's just kind of determining, if you're attractive or not. And it's very superficial, and it can kind of lead you into a pretty crap mindset of just like low self-esteem, maybe low self-worth. And I feel like this is only going to get worse. Like they're talking about like AI, like a chat bot to like help you talk to people. Like how, like throwing that into love too. I don't know how that's going to look. I guess time will only tell if that's going to be good or not. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty bad, to be honest. Like I really don't know how that's going to turn out. Some about that's just gonna be bad. Like, what the hell? Totally taking the human element out of it. And like on another app, Hinge, I got banned for it. Still don't know to this day why I got banned. And I didn't even say anything crazy on there. And sometimes I look at my friends that still have the app and I'm kind of envious. I'm like, oh, you could still use these apps. Like, damn, seems like the dating pool is good on there. But honestly, the 2 times I was on Hinge, like one, I kind of got around the ban and had like a new account. And it was just like, I would have conversations with people and it was not, it was a better experience than Tinder or Bumble combined, but not by much. Like it didn't really lead to too many dates. Like the last time I had like a solid person I was seeing frequently on Hinge was 2022 beginning. So it's been over like 2.5 years since I met someone from there. Doesn't help that I'm also banned, but it didn't really lead to anything. And like the conversations I had recently, probably like 2023, some of the year, like it'd be nice. There'd be some back and forth, but then I would get ghosted. People wouldn't get back to me. It was just not a fun experience, to be honest. I thought dating would be a little more fun on Hinge, but it's like Tinder, but like a nicer coat or paint sheen. I don't even know what the analogy I'm trying to go here with is, but it's just like, oh, it feels nicer. It's like, oh, it's meant to be deleted. But yeah, it's meant to be deleted and, get your ass out of the house and meet people in real life because, I don't know, for a guy on there, it is really hard. And I feel like for women as well, but it's just different, without going too much into depth. But like, you would ask someone, they probably agree. It's like, yeah, the experiences are so different that it's almost like foreign to try to explain it to someone else because you would have to have a pretty high level of empathy and understanding to kind of get from a guy's perspective. I feel like, at least for me, some people hear me out, some will just kind of disregard what I have to say. I think that's just life. Some people are going to resonate to what you got to say and some aren't. And yeah, these dating apps totally don't have it in your best interest. And I think that bottom line, if we all just stopped, especially guys, like I'm pretty sure 90% of the population I'd be crazy if a girl on Hinge, Tinder, or Bumble paid premium. Like it's probably a very niche group. And like I'm curious to see how for like an experiment, what would a girl's dating app be if they like paid the highest tier on Tinder or Bumble or Hinge? I think it's like Hinge X, and seeing the amount of matches or like the guys reaching out to them. But yeah, it's low-key crazy right now, to be honest, because I just don't see myself finding anyone anytime soon, unless in the gym. The gym is literally the only place I frequent lately for workouts, and there seem to be good quality women in there. Like they're in shape, they're like just really attractive, but I don't know, some of them kind of have resting bitch face, and it's just kind of hard to like, okay, let's see, is this a good time to approach? Like, I don't know. Call me a bitch or whatever. I've done it before approaching in the gym and it didn't go too bad. Like I was nervous as hell and I even stuttered a bit but she didn't end up yelling at me or anything. She was just like, oh, we had like small talk and then she said, oh, have a good rest of your workout. Then I caught her again another day and then that's when I asked her to like, oh, you want to join a workout with me down the road or like next time you're in, and she's like, oh, sorry, I had a boyfriend. So I don't know. There's a saying like 90% of the time, the things you worry about don't end up being in reality. I would put that under there for sure. And experiences like that, you can't get on a dating app. And that one has stuck with me since I did that about 9 months ago. And right now I'm still living at home with my parents and I don't know. I don't really go out too much right now. Maybe once I move out and try to join clubs or something and being a little more social, I can try approaching women that I find attractive. But I know one thing's for certain, dating apps are so not it. complete waste of your time. So this is a call to action. If you made it to this point, delete that shit right now. Delete it. At least anything under Match.com, you find a dating app under them, delete that crap. Because they do not give a shit if you find love or romance or anything. They just, want a paying little pay pig on there, and you're just in this loop of trying to find a partner. But, also dating apps, in my opinion, a good majority of the people on there are kind of like the leftovers, or people that just, they may be broken a little bit. They may have some issues. Not saying every person on a dating app is like that, but I mean, the good ones, they're probably not on there. They're taken, or they found someone in person. And I think just adding that extra factor that like these companies of those apps I mentioned earlier have an incentive to make as much revenue as possible. Your experience on there, especially as the big demographic of men on there, they are trying to get as much money out of you as possible. And take it from me, I've paid the highest tier. I've done different testing and stuff with it. And at 26, I'm almost 27 in a couple of months, I'm leading to the conclusion that, it was a waste of time and money. That's something I have to accept. That's okay. But maybe this video can serve as to someone out there who is kind of on the fence of like, do I have any faith in these? Do I want to keep going? Do I want to pay? Like, long term, no. Honestly, pick up a hobby, invest in yourself, as cheesy as that is, and maybe get out there more, or develop your friend groups, and then meet people, like, as they say, a warm approach in person, through a friend, and it's easier to talk to them and get to know them. And then you wouldn't have this dating app thing to where like 50% of people in my age group meet people online. But I'm wondering, okay, how is that statistic going? Like, did they meet? Did it turn into a successful, like, relationship? Are they dating? Are they going on multiple dates? It's super vague. And I'm kind of just fed up with it. So hopefully this video kind of helped you out in terms of just, how dating is in general, to be honest, from my point of view. And dating apps just completely waste your time.